Totally silent.
Yeah. Cheers.
Hello and welcome to The Moon Underwater. I'm Kelly Daniels.
And I am Steve Jones. I almost forgot my part there.
You almost forgot your name. And I am, who am I again? You are the former guitar player for the...
Sex Pistols?
Sex Pistols. That's right, Sex Pistols. I forget about that stuff.
What an awesome guy. I was.
You were cool. Now look at you.
Yep.
Didn't even know that Sammy Hagar was had a solo career before before Van Halen.
Let me tell you how old I am.
Yeah.
I had a colonoscopy this week.
Woo.
So that's how you know you're old.
Well,
It's not your first one.
oh, it's not your first one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's there is a point at which you get so old you don't get them anymore.
I know.
Because
I
I
feel
know
like-
this old guy at the brewery up the way, and he got his last one, and they're like, yeah, if you have colon cancer at this point, you're so close to the end. It's like
I don't want that.
it's something like that.
That's so
I don't know.
terrible.
I just think well, whatever. So
Man.
speaking of colorectal cancer,
Wow.
that's almost as bad as getting eaten by a dinosaur.
It is.
Maybe worse.
Probably worse.
Yeah. Dinosaur, you're over pretty quick.
I found out from a friend of mine this week that when he was 32, he was diagnosed with colon cancer, stage 3,
Wow.
which I had to look up what that meant.
That sucks.
It's like
Is he all right?
60 to 70% survival rate. Yeah, that was 10 years ago.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Good to hear.
What would he have
Glad-
rather gotten eaten by a dinosaur? No.
No,
'cause
he
made
wouldn't
it.
have. Yeah, he made it. He
So
was,
getting eaten by a dinosaur, worse.
yeah. Yeah, what a cheery topic.
Well, I've been trying to get us to watch this for a while, and I feel like you've been avoiding it.
No, I have not. Have I?
You've been like, I don't know.
I'm a
I was
little...
going to watch the other day with Oliver, but, you know.
I'm passive-aggressive about that. I'm not passive-aggressive. I'm just... I slow roll the things. I just, live on my emotions, man.
All right.
I either want it or don't. No, this is 2 Steve episodes in a row, and we're talking
Yeah.
Jurassic Park. The
We
first
are.
one, and you read the novel.
I did.
So you didn't make me read the novel because it's long.
It's long and it's good.
I did a little bit of outside research to try to carry my own weight, though. And that is I listened to a pretty extensive interview with the CEO of a company that's doing real-life Jurassic Park
Oh,
stuff.
no.
So
Do they own an island off the coast of Costa Rica?
they have 3 labs, 2 in Dallas and 1 in Sydney, Australia.
That's close enough to...
And Australia is an island.
Yeah, it is.
No, there are
And
some...
it's off the coast, way off
It's
the
called
coast of Costa
Colossus Bioscience. Colossus Bioscience. And I'll tell you all about it. There are some important differences between this company and the Jurassic Park venture. But we don't have to start with that.
Okay.
I feel like we should start with the movie
We
or the book or whatever.
Rica. Do you know how you fly blind sometimes?
Yeah.
Check me out.
Yeah,
Flying blind.
Oh, that's flying blind?
Yeah, I have like 4 things.
That's not blind. That's 4 things.
It's like one eye closed.
Blind is nothing, man. Nada.
I couldn't do it.
I have some notes.
You have extensive notes.
It's just handwritten and spread out. It's probably less words than your typed notes. So
I type
my
notes.
problem with my notes is I have to put my reading glasses on, which don't fit nicely under the headphones. So I'd rather just not.
You need like a monocle.
I absolutely, or some pince-nez.
Or that's when you go,
Pince-nez?
you know, I actually left both of my monocles at home.
Ah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. Both monocles.
Both.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, who has one?
Yeah.
Come on.
All right. So why don't you take it away, Professor?
So the year is 1993.
Yeah. Okay.
And this is like the biggest summer blockbuster ever.
Yeah.
And I remember hearing about it when I was in 6th grade a couple years before. And I knew somebody who was reading it. And then the movie came out and I saw it. And I remember being like, I think that was pretty good, but I'm going to have to read this book.
Oh, nice. Because
And-
you were interested in the science-iness of it?
Sure.
and
It
it's
just
a
seemed
whole-
like a thing
yeah.
to do. And
Were you
so-
art ready at Crichton?
No.
Oh, so that's what got you.
Yeah.
This is the gateway.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, cool.
And the movie is there are similarities, but like anything, right? It's basically a rewrite. The idea is there. You're on an island with dinosaurs. It's a theme park. All of a sudden, the brakes come off. Because what would the story be, Kelly, if the brakes didn't come off and dinosaurs ran amok? You know it's coming when you start it.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Right.
No, it's not going to be, wow, it's really nice. Good job.
Right.
We totally approve it. We're going to open it up to the public next week, the end. And that would be really cool to go see a dinosaur park, but to watch a movie where nothing happens. So, yeah, we do know that's going to happen. Well, the book you say is 500 pages long.
Yeah, I don't know exactly how many.
And the movie is 2 hours long. And we just know how that translates. And it's just they're going to have to cut out probably 3/4 of the actual stuff to make the movie work, right?
The book would work as, like the kind of new long-form series, right? Like Netflix, Max, whatever.
Yeah. Would it be interesting? Would it be better that way?
There's a lot of character development that happens. So
should I start with my critique and just get that out of the way? Or I don't know. I feel like that's the least interesting thing from us is that we just don't like something. But, here's my take. It's like this, like Barfly, like Fast Times at Ridgemont High, like Animal House, like all these old movies that we really liked way back when or were beloved way back when. There's a certain kind of movie that is dated. It's of its time.
Yep.
And it just doesn't last. And I feel like this is one because there's two great things about it.
Okay.
One is the basic idea. Mind-blowing in 1994. The idea of making dinosaurs out of blood from mosquitoes is just so ingrained that it's not interesting. It wasn't surprising. Yeah. And the fact that they're actually doing stuff like that, but they also can't do much of what this whole movie's based on and never will be able to.
Right.
And
not with that attitude.
It's kind of like the breaking the speed of light kind of argument. Yeah, maybe they'll do it, but right now it looks like
probably
it ain't going to happen. And the special effects and the action and the idea, those are the great things about it, but the idea is a little stale. The special effects are 25 years old.
Take it back.
Oh, you liked them?
Oh, I think they're amazing.
I thought they were good, but it wasn't. Okay, I watched it on my TV, just kind of waiting to. At a movie theater, I think I'd really be.
Cool.
Ooh, ah. But the thing
sound
that it
is really good.
The thing that it doesn't have, the characters and the plot is just
non-existent.
Who gives a shit?
Yes.
Like there's not a single character who I would have cared if they would have died. I wanted those kids to get eaten. And maybe them saying more about myself than the movie, but they're trying to pull our heartstrings with these two cute kids. The kids weren't cute.
Well, the boy had really weird hair. And it wasn't popular at that time.
Yeah, the boy was kind of, and his snottiness about him being this kid that knows everything about dinosaurs. And the girl was just screaming and crying the whole time.
She was
just annoying.
Great. Yeah.
And none of the characters, if they would have gotten eaten, it wouldn't have fazed me.
Not even Dr. Malcolm. Ian Malcolm.
Ian Malcolm is Jeff Goldblum, right?
Yes.
He was my favorite.
Of course.
He was the cool one.
He's the only one that's in the second movie, right?
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Sexy Jeff Goldblum,
too.
He's there shirtless, just kind of looking hot. But he's got
making these funny laughs.
And I do want to talk about the portrayal of scientists. And I'm not a scientist. I guess I know some, but I'm sure real scientists are give me a break. But I kind of like that there's two kinds. There's the hard-working field scientists who they just want a few bucks to fund their dinosaur dig. And then there's the media darling chaos theory guy who dresses like he's in a New York punk band or something, or post-punk band, and long black jacket and sunglasses at night. And but we like the chaos theory guy because he's also the one that came out and goes, "You people are crazy. Can't be doing this.
Yeah,
this ain't right."
Chaotician.
Yeah,
he refers to himself as a chaotician.
Chaotician.
Yep.
Yeah, I thought that was dumb when he was trying to explain chaos to the other scientist, Laura Dern, and she's
not gonna get it.
"Oh, it's over my head." And I'm like, what he's explaining to her is that the concept of randomness, I think.
Yeah. By the way, what she does is she goes, it just, whoosh,
Yeah.
and she puts, that's how many times I've seen this movie.
I know. I remember that. I was wondering if she was being sarcastic or if she really was. I think they were suggesting that she really was just incapable of understanding how deep and complex this guy's thing was. But I will add one moment that I was very excited and happy. When Newman gets killed.
Yeah,
that made
scene.
me so happy. But I also, just as a filmmaking kind of thing, you have a character that is that loathsome. I would drag out, like I would not kill him till the end because we would keep watching, waiting for him. I would let him to keep doing bad things up until the last 20 minutes. And then he finally gets eaten. Because I thought they dispensed with him too quickly.
It's better than halfway through because there has to be no reason or ability to bring him back so that he can fix the situation. Yeah. It's got to stay broken.
Yeah, that's right. He's the hacker. He's the computer guy. I thought he was an accurate representation of a computer guy, though.
We'll get to that.
Just in my experience, he seemed like, and the other computer person was the whiny girl that just annoyed us the whole time.
Oh, we'll get to that too.
Nice. So changed my mind. I didn't on the special effects.
Yeah.
On how they hold up. Is it CGI?
It is.
But it's just good early CGI.
It was like the first. So.
But has CGI gotten better since then, or is it okay? But you just like how they did it.
Well, it was originally going to be done in like claymation, and they were looking.
That would have looked funny.
And they were looking at some of it early, and it was like, I don't know. There are these guys that say they can do this, and like make the dinosaurs on computers. So I don't know. We'll look at it, and they got like the T-Rex built. There's actually a documentary about the studio that did it and how they did it, and that actually leads to one of the jokes in the movie. They're walking up the stairs to the visitor center. They've just arrived, and Alan Grant looks around and he goes, "Oh, I'd say it looks like we're out of a job." And Ian Malcolm runs up next to him and says, "Do you know?
No, I don't.
Don't you mean extinct?"
Ah, okay.
And that was actually a conversation with the claymation guys and the computer.
Nice.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
And I like that that's the first CGI movie.
I mean, I think there was other stuff, but it wasn't to that level.
That was a big movie.
Big.
Steven Spielberg.
Yep. Well, big. It was, mostly that. And then, of course, there's like effectively the puppets, right? So like the big stuff, it's like what they did with Jaws.
Okay.
So that my critique is.
So wait, is the T-Rex a puppet? Mm-hmm. And what about
not always?
What about the velociraptors indoors? Puppets? They look pretty good indoors.
I don't know. But the stuff outside, the T-Rex when it's raining, all that is they were puppets.
Okay.
Or like machines, basically.
Yeah. I mean, they looked pretty good. They looked like dinosaurs. I thought that the petting the Brachiosaurus was a little cute. Yeah. And also the idea that thing couldn't or wouldn't hurt you. One little movement of his head and all of those people are dead.
Right.
Like they're way up in a tree and it's chewing on the leaves right next to them.
Right.
And they're like, oh, you can pet it.
Right after they survived a crash, they would never survive.
That.
Yeah.
And also the T-Rex is trying to eat them but can't figure out how to eat through the car even though he's eating the car. Like the T-Rex was having way too much trouble getting through that flimsy little car to get at those tender morsels inside.
There's a flub in the scene where he is getting into the car, and they show it from the top. They show it from the annoying girl screaming, and she's got the flashlight on, and the thing is smashing through the sunroof. And in one of the shots, it goes through the sunroof. And in the next shot, the sunroof is back in place.
Nice.
Yeah. So there was a link that I sent you, the flubs of Jurassic Park.
I didn't see that.
I just sent it.
Oh, just now.
And it's some enterprising individual from God, I think it's 20 years ago.
Love it.
Put together. It's like,
Love it.
This
The
doesn't
real
make any
hero.
sense.
The
This is from the
real-
set. This is bad. And like some of them are non-flubs. Some of them, it's,
You know, somebody's got some explaining to do, and you know who that person is.
yeah,
Steven
Spielberg.
And
Come on this show.
yeah, we've invited him before.
We have.
I think
Yeah.
we have bagged on.
We have.
I think it was Minority Report.
He's not returning my calls.
Apparently, he's afraid. Well, we know that.
We asked the tough questions here at
Yeah.
the Moon Underwater.
And you know what else I heard? I heard that his house didn't burn down in the LA fire, so he doesn't have that excuse.
Yeah.
So,
And we didn't even see him when we were there.
yeah, no, he didn't come by. So anyway, Steven Spielberg, you got some explaining to do. All right.
Can I get into my other issues that I
Please
have
do.
with this?
Please do.
So, Ellie Sadler is riding up and she's making a comment about the plants. This doesn't make any sense. This shouldn't be here. This has been extinct for however many millions of years. So, she's the plant specialist. We never get any kind of information as to how they brought back extinct plants or why someone would want to do that. And that annoyed me.
Yeah.
It was like
How do
just a
you?
side note.
Can you bring back extinct plants?
And it seems like that. You want to? They
Maybe-
wanted to show us how they did it with the dinosaurs. I'd be really interested
Yeah.
to know. I mean, I really don't know how plants work in general.
Yeah.
But that's not my specialty.
So the company Colossus Bioscience is they are kind of extincting animals. So they're bringing back animals that are extinct.
I'm with Jeff Goldblum, Ian Malcolm on this one.
Well, but listen first. They can't do it with dinosaurs. Dinosaurs are millions of years old, and DNA. First off, amber. There's no chance that a piece of blood would last in amber for even 1,000 years, much less millions.
Not with that attitude.
Not with that attitude. Well, the guy said, "Oh, amber is really porous. It's like completely like one of the worst places to."
That's so funny.
It's like where they find DNA is a dry, cold cave where an animal just died and didn't get disturbed for 1,000 or 1,000,000 years, and it's just still
Wow.
lying there. And even then, so they're trying to, and this is coming fast. The woolly mammoth.
I mean,
They're working
Right.
on the woolly mammoth, and he said that he has pretty high confidence that they will have one born from an elephant by the end of 2028.
wow.
The
what
other
are they gonna
ones
do with it?
They're going to repopulate it. They're going to introduce it, rewild it, and make more of them in Alaska is where they're going to
Weird.
start. And it's this whole company, and they're talking to all the like fish and wildlife people and all the Alaskan tribal people and the industry people and all the biologists, and they're like, where? So it's a big deal.
This
It's-
seems like a terrible idea because what
How
Alaska
come?
doesn't need is a bunch of giant furry elephants walking around in the wild.
Hell
like that
yeah, it
doesn't
does.
seem
Why not?
like. I mean, are we giving the bears something to think about out there?
They really are thinking about all of this in terms of what it's going to do to the ecosystem.
Yeah.
And reintroducing these animals will help. So the other one they're doing, which will come out soon, is the Tasmanian tiger. So the Tasmanian tiger has been extinct since like the 1930s or
But there's
something.
been spottings over the last like 50 years,
They
every
s-
once in a while.
The guy said that. He goes, "There's no hard evidence."
no,
of it."
there's not.
And he
Yeah.
goes, "But
I
they're
love stuff
but
like
they're
that.
creating new ones, and they're going to And he said that it's the apex predator of
Okay.
these areas, and the ecosystem, the animal system, has been all screwed up ever since they've been gone, because there's all these animals that should have been getting controlled by them are like overpopulating, and there's all these diseases, like animal diseases, happen when there's too many animals. Anyway, so they're being really careful about it. It's a guy named, so it's a tech billionaire entrepreneur guy, started the company, and his partner is a super nerd scientist at Harvard. So there's the
Dang.
science guy, and then there's the billionaire guy who's good at getting things going. And this is a company that has a lot of funding, but it's supposed to eventually make money. And here's the guy's name is Ben Lamb, and George Church is the scientist behind it. And they're also working on the dodo bird, and they're going to rewild that. So they have one bird, one kind of marsupial, and one mammal. So they're kind of strategically
weird.
And they said that, but they're doing it the opposite. So if you remember the Jurassic Park, at least the movie part, and they talked about, on this interview, they talked about Jurassic Park, the book and the movie. And he said that kind of helps them talk to the public because the public already kind of knows that. And so they they can talk about their thing about how it's different. So in Jurassic Park, they came up and they found the dinosaur DNA, and then they filled in the gaps with frog DNA.
Yes.
He goes, what they do is they find the most recent living relative of the extinct animal.
Yeah.
And then they start bioengineering that DNA to match the extinct animal, which they find that DNA.
Okay.
And they use CRISPR to kind of like put these DNA strands together.
So weird.
And anyway, there's all kinds of stuff going on with it. And I'm curious if you can guess, you're an entrepreneurial kind of guy, aren't you? Maybe,
sure.
Maybe not. You're a money guy. You think about money. You
do.
like having your executive level travel stuff.
Do.
So how is this going to be? How are they going to monetize this?
Oh.
And they have 3 ways that it's going to be monetizable.
Oh wow.
3 kind of categories of this technology and this thing that they're doing.
Seems like a killer petting zoo could be in the works.
That I would put that's number 3 under just biotourism.
I was kidding.
It was just, biotourism.
Okay.
Like, tourism's a big industry, and if you have woolly mammoths in Alaska in your wild animal park,
only if there's saddles on them.
Yeah. Then, so they're woolly mammoths are related, fairly closely related to the Indian elephant.
Mm-hmm.
And the Indian elephant and the woolly mammoth are more closely related to each other than either one of them is to the African elephant.
How about that?
Yeah. So you got one is kind of tourism, but also you probably won't guess the other ones. The number 1, he said it's already worth tens of billions. The gene sequencing information that they're coming up is worth tons to gene therapy medical stuff.
Oh, okay.
So even though it's animals, it's just for whatever reason.
Just sequencing DNA.
It's just as valuable. It's just worth a lot. And
because normally you would do like DNA sequencing and folding and all that. There's like folding at home and that sort of thing. So, like, people are doing it, but then nobody owns that information, and if you got a way to capitalize on that, it's pretty good. All right, what's the first?
So that's that one, and then, just kind of, and he was talking about, education. Maybe I guess number 3 also had another side to it, but he said education, which might be petting zoos, but I guess there's just application for, I don't know. Maybe that is zoos. He didn't explain that a whole lot. And the other one is, like carbon credits.
Yes.
Like the idea of carbon credits is that you get credit for making the world a better place. He said that they're expanding. There's more kinds of that kind of like conservation credit.
Okay.
And he predicts that eventually there's just going to be a generic nature credit that corporations are going to invest in so they can pollute, but then this is just going to come under biodiversity, and you can buy some nature credits in biodiversity companies.
It's a big bet on nature credits, but good work.
It's the 3rd of the monetization things, and I feel like the guy like he's been really successful in these different companies he's done. He's doing it because he thinks it's cool.
Serial entrepreneur.
Yeah, and he'll probably find a way to make money on it. And even if he doesn't, he'll just do some other thing. He's one of those people.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's Jurassic Park in real life, and it's happening. 2028. That's 3 years from now. He feels like there should be a woolly mammoth, and he thinks maybe even the Tasmanian tiger might even come first because they're.
Well, it's more recently. Yeah.
Yeah, there's that. He talks about like.
What's the closest relative to a Tasmanian tiger?
That's the problem. So, two of the elements of the Tasmanian tiger, the gestation period is like 11 days, which makes it easier.
Yeah.
And the fact that they have really good DNA makes it easier.
They got the best DNA.
Well, it's just recent.
Oh.
What makes it hard is they've been isolated from everything for so long. The nearest living relative is a mouse. So starting with a mouse DNA to build a Tasmanian tiger is the tricky part.
You're going to get a really small Tasmanian tiger.
Yeah.
That's how it's working in my head.
So the mammoth is the opposite, like easy hard thing in that the Indian elephant is actually very close to.
Also known as the bald woolly mammoth. Thanks for mentioning that one again.
Nice one. But the other two, it takes 22 months for a elephant to have a baby.
Oh my God.
It's a long time. And then also the DNA that they have from the dead woolly mammoths is not that good because it's old.
Yeah.
Since they haven't been around for a while. So there's challenges on those two, but this company wants to learn how to do all three of those things well. And that's kind of why they chose these two animals, because they offset each other on the easy, hard stuff.
Okay.
Anyway, I feel like you're starting to glaze over a little bit, so maybe we should get back to. We need more dinosaurs chomping through.
They
Newman's,
do. They do chomp through stuff.
Newman didn't get it first.
No. That's
the lawyer got it first.
The lawyer got bitten.
He had
in half.
It coming.
He had to. Yeah.
With no dignity at all, he was on the toilet.
He was.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the whole thing falls apart around him.
So he's exposed.
Yeah.
I wish that his pants were around his ankles, though, because he was just sitting there. He wasn't actually taking a dump.
I remember first thinking that he did. It was like, oh my gosh, that's so funny. And then it was like, oh no. Like, no, he's just hanging out. I'm going to take up some other grievances, if you don't mind.
Do it.
Hammond in the book was pretty dynamic guy. He got into big fights with Henry Wu, the doctor that was like the head gene guy. I don't know.
Oh, that guy was nobody in the movie.
And Nedry. Yeah. And Nedry, the Wayne Knight.
Who is Nedry?
Newman. His last name was Nedry, and
yeah.
Yes, it's an anagram for nerdy.
Nedry, nice.
Yep.
Yeah.
So not a big role for him, and he had a great death in the book. He got eaten by these little dinosaurs, like these little.
They just kind of nibbled him to death.
They're venomous, and they make you numb.
Yeah.
But they go in like, there's 15 of them that jumped on him, and they started to eat him.
I would have liked to have seen that.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of meat on that guy.
Yeah. Did Newman get his job as Newman before or after Jurassic Park?
It was after Jurassic Park.
So they saw him there and they go, we need that guy.
Might have been right in the middle of that. Because Seinfeld was like 89.
He plays the same
90.
character.
Yeah.
Just loathsome.
Yeah.
Like you hate him immediately. He's got those fat fingers kind of just grabbing stuff.
He's got
touching
sausage
things.
Fingers.
Yeah, these sausage fingers, and he's got this greediness about him.
Oh, he does. He's despicable. I love him.
He is great. He's great at being that. That's a talent.
Somebody's got to do it, right?
Somebody does, and he's found that success.
I remember reading somewhere that he was like the nicest guy.
Oh,
and of
have
course,
to assume,
right?
Like,
but it's so hard to imagine when you're seeing him. You're like, oh God, I hate that guy. Yeah.
Well, you got to be nice if you look like that and you're just repulsive, right? Unless you just go with it, but then you're not successful because
You
you
think?
have if everybody just immediately is repulsed by you and you're an asshole, I just don't see how even if you can play a good asshole on
Those are the
on
people
TV.
you really hate in real life because they do exist.
Yeah, but I
Yeah.
also don't think they're successful
Okay.
unless they have a talent that has nothing to do with people.
Okay.
But mostly people, you hire people you want to work with.
Okay.
And if you're like a movie director, there's a lot of actors in the world. And just
Yeah.
getting a kind of unattractive fat guy who kind of feels repulsive, it's not that hard to find somebody to play that part convincingly.
Right.
And so I think if you look like that actor, I think you got to be really good to work with in real life.
Okay.
That's what I think. So here's my key to this is a sort of a key to life, and I borrowed it from Neil Gaiman, who I believe is like being canceled for a sexual kind of.
I hate it when that happens.
Yeah, you don't know who Neil Gaiman is, do you? He wrote American Gods, like Coraline. Did your kids watch Coraline? It was a big. They probably
I
did.
don't think so.
You just didn't know.
Really?
I mean, it was like an inescapable kind of cartoon.
When? Was it a movie?
Yeah, it's a movie. It was a book, children's book, and it was a movie. Anyway, so he said that you need three things to be successful in the arts, but actually just anywhere in life. So this is the just solid gold advice coming.
I'm taking the notes. Number one.
Number one, you got to be good.
Oh.
Whatever it is you do, you got to have some baseline competence.
Okay.
You don't have to be great. But
Oh.
you got to be
Then I'm in good shape.
pretty good.
Yeah.
You got to be reliable. If you just
Yeah.
get your stuff done on deadline,
You showed
and
up.
without a bunch of excuses,
okay.
and everybody misses one every now and then. But you can't have the reputation of being a flake.
Okay.
And the third one is you got to be pleasant to work with. People, if you light up the room by leaving it, people aren't going to want to hire you. And but here's the kicker of that. The truth of the matter is you can get by with 2 out of 3.
I think so.
If you're really good and you're really reliable,
Nobody cares how nice you are.
you can be an asshole.
Yeah.
If you are really good and really nice and great to work with, even if you're a little bit flaky, you'll be forgiven. And the worst part is,
If you're not very good,
if you're really nice and you're super reliable,
but you're not very good,
you'll still
you
get some
still
work.
get some Oh my God, that's scary.
It is. That's life.
But it's true.
I think it's true. But anyway, so
Okay.
that's a bit of a
Bit of a tangent, but
side
we're
quest.
tangenty today on this one because,
it's Jurassic Park.
I mean, it is. So I'm stepping through my
I'm going to try to get out of the video zone so I can pick my nose.
Perfect.
It's like itchy. So
Oh, that's good. Good. I'm stepping through my progression to my biggest annoyance with this movie. And I also did like it. I will get back to the stuff that I liked.
Yeah.
But when I first read what is now my favorite book, Sun Also Rises, I was like, nothing happens. There isn't anything exciting. They don't do anything. And then I think back to being 13-year-old me and reading this and ruining stuff for me for like 10 years because it all had to be dinosaurs chasing shit. Or like other Michael Crichton books, like Terminal Man wasn't that different.
Yeah.
Congo's not that different. Sphere's not that different. Like, there's a formula.
Okay, so the formula is there's this scientific breakthrough
Yep.
and unintended consequences.
Plus,
Yeah.
captive audience because usually some kind of natural disaster has happened. That happens in Sphere. Congo, it's that they're just in the middle of nowhere. And then Jurassic Park is a hurricane. Sphere, it's a hurricane too. And so there's kind of a formula.
And
right?
there's only so many kind of ways to get them stuck there. So you got to reuse hurricane.
Right.
Yeah.
And they're common enough.
They are.
Where they're not common, incidentally, is Costa Rica.
Well, also, how about the depiction of San Jose, Costa Rica? I don't know if you've been there.
I'm going this year for Christmas.
It's a big modern city.
I know.
And it was a big modern city in 1994.
Do you know where that was filmed? You know where the entire movie, the outdoor
Let me
scenes?
guess. Let me just guess.
Okay.
Like Baja California, like Ensenada.
Kauai.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's like a little beach in Kapa'a that
They just made it look kind
near
of
Lahui, and they just
yeah.
and
So the island itself.
yeah, but the whole island was where they filmed it. But
yeah.
So the falls, those
Yeah.
the now called Jurassic Falls by all the tourists.
Oh boy.
It does exist. They fly through. Like near Waimea Canyon on the south shore of the island at the beginning in the helicopter. They filmed them all there.
Yeah, makes sense.
I know somebody who had property and they built a house on the North Shore, and their land, he had like 8 acres. It's where they filmed the Gallimimus scene, where they're running away from the flocking predators. And look at that! Look at how they flock, just like birds.
Oh yeah.
They're flocking this way.
Yeah.
That was filmed on his property.
Oh, cool.
So there.
Did he get paid?
No, because he didn't own it then.
Oh, okay. I got it.
Somebody did. But if he would have gotten paid for that, that would have been even cooler.
Yeah, it would have.
It'd be a lot cooler if he did.
It'd have got cooler if you did get paid. I read this essay once about. It's a writer. I think his name is John Jeremiah Sullivan, and pardon me if I got that wrong.
So. It's a great name.
That is a real author, and I think this article is by him, but it might not be. It might, but he just so happened, or this author just so happened to have his house be chosen for this really iconic television show.
Okay.
And so this would be a lot more interesting if I could remember what I thought it would come to me, but I don't remember. It's not a show I've seen, but you've heard of.
Okay.
It's a straightforward show, but it's like Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Something just everybody has seen.
I've never seen Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Yeah, but you've heard of it.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. It's like that. Except it's not supernatural. That was a bad example. But they rent their house out for a couple of months, and then they put them in like a really nice hotel, and they pay them like $50,000 or something for a while. It's like they get well compensated, but people come up to their house all the time to see it because it's the iconic, and they usually just stand on the sidewalk and take pictures, but it's like you're leaving the house to take your kids to school, and a bunch of tourists are standing there taking pictures of your house. And he's like, yeah, there's sort of... Anyway, he just wrote about that. Kind of interesting.
Oh, wow.
And they also mess with the house big time. They bring all that stuff in, they manipulate it, and then they fix anything they break. But it's like you're giving up your private zone completely.
Okay.
And you're being paid for it. So I don't know. It's an interesting.
I need my space.
Yeah, I mean they put them in like a 5-star hotel or something.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah,
that gets old.
Yeah, that's what he also said.
Yeah,
it seems really great for the first couple days, but they're like, it's not as good as you think.
Right.
This deal that he got is what it comes down to.
I get at hotels. I start to go. I gloss over on the food. because it's always like, oh, the restaurant looks pretty good. Like, I mean, it's in the hotel. How could it be? And you go in and it's like, no, it sucks. Like, it's captive audience, people who didn't rent a car. You're not going to go anywhere else. You're not going to walk anywhere. It's here and it sucks. That's my biggest problem.
Expensive, sort of like microwave food in a way.
Yeah. And I say that, and there was spectacular food at the Marriott in downtown San Jose, California. They had a steakhouse. This is pre-COVID. And I would go there, and I would meet up with a buddy of mine, Captain Brandon, because I was working there, and he would fly into San Jose, and we'd go grab dinner. And it was, I would always stay at that hotel, and we'd always walk by this restaurant. And one time I was going to go and meet him there, and he's like, hey, ended up having to go somewhere else. I'm not going to be going. And so I was like, well, I'll just go here. And I went and ate, and they made lobster pot pie like in front of you. And I had it. It was $80 or $90. It was amazing. And I was like, I'm going to go back there again the next time I'm in town, and I'm going to stay here because that place was so good. I went in. They had the restaurant under construction when I went back in, and it was changing the entire menu and everything.
Nice.
Fuck. So I stayed there for a week and was super disappointed.
Yeah, man.
Ended up in various places in downtown San Jose, which there's nothing open after about 6 o'clock. So,
well, there you go.
Anyway,
so when you're in San Jose,
yes.
You're out of luck. Steve doesn't have any information for you.
True.
The one place used to be good.
Not
anymore.
There. Well, there's tons of great food in San Jose.
Oh, okay.
Just not there. Not
at the hotel.
Yeah. Downtown, not as much. Okay, the cars.
All right, let's hear the cars.
Well,
you mean the electric cars that drive on a little track?
And then they turned them around at one point. Yeah. How? How do they do? Who determined it? How did they turn it around? I want to know.
Oh, they were going back.
Yeah,
they had turned around instead of just going reverse.
Right.
Which would make sense, right?
But I mean, it's if nothing's really driving it and they're on tracks.
Yeah.
I mean, what difference does it make? Except for that I get really motion
sick.
Sick.
Who have been on way better electric, or not electric, but self-driving cars than those. These two guys.
Oh.
The Waymo in L.A.
Oh, that was so cool.
I sent that video of driving in the Waymo and to Garza. So
okay,
Garza's
nice.
She'll probably put it into some kind of a clip so people following our socials can see it. The Waymo was great.
Looking back on the Waymo.
Yeah. I like the part that I did, I say, on the clip, because I just started recording, and I said, gangster. And what it was is it passed a car that was parking, and it went over the double yellow line, not even caring. Yeah. And I thought it would be paranoid about that.
Right.
But not this Waymo.
It's very paranoid about the people standing, like, on the side of the road. They might be near their trunk. It sees that, and it hammers the brakes, right?
Yeah, doesn't want to kill people.
But those were really, those were cool self-driving cars.
Yeah.
They used the wrong cars in the movie.
Yeah.
They are supposed to be Toyota Land Cruisers.
Yeah.
Do you know this about me? That
you know the names of cars?
No, that I would kill to have a Toyota Land Cruiser.
Oh, really?
Oh, they're so cool.
How come you don't have one?
I mean, they're very expensive.
They are expensive.
And
yes.
the new one, they just came out with a new one, and it's not it's not a full-blooded Land Cruiser. It's a European one. I know. It's not the crazy one they get in Japan that we used to get here. The last generation of those were between $100,000 and $110,000. So
yeah, that's a lot.
And the new ones are $55,000, which is I sound old. I can't believe what cars cost.
Yeah, well, $110,000.
Yeah. But $55,000 for the new one, and for $55,000 you're getting cloth seats.
Yeah.
I still want one.
Yeah, you can get one.
Well, no.
No, okay.
I can get on a one.
Yeah.
Eventually.
Okay.
She doesn't want one.
No, okay.
Yeah.
That's a
And
shame.
I'm not getting rid of my truck. So
what were they Jeeps? Or were they supposed to be
they
Land
were
Cruisers?
Explorers.
But they were Explorers.
Yeah,
Did they
the
say
SUVs were Explorers, yeah.
Okay.
And then the Wranglers were really cool.
Yeah.
And they were like the multicolor, and
Newman didn't do a good job driving his.
No.
He was a bad driver.
He was. They had soft tops too, which I guess it makes sense because you're in Costa Rica or some sort of thing. But yeah, the cars, I liked that, but they destroyed all those Jeeps, and those were pretty cool.
Yeah, too bad.
They had the right engine. It was the 4-liter, and then you've got the guy with the funny hat up on one side driving it. And he's
That guy was
Ian
pretty
Malcolm
good.
to move.
I felt a little bit.
That's
I
why
was
they
a
didn't-
little bummed that he got killed.
That's why they didn't give him a great death, like not like
Yeah.
Newman's, where
because you didn't want him to die. Really,
See?
he was the one competent guy.
They should all be shot.
Yeah,
I love that line.
that was good. Yeah, he was the Australian guy who wasn't
Or was he South African?
maybe that, but he wasn't taking any. He wasn't drinking the Kool-Aid like everybody else.
No. Neither was. Ian Malcolm.
Yeah,
he wasn't.
no.
And Dr. Grant. We haven't even talked about him.
Yeah, he's the
50 or 40-something-year-old hero of
Yeah,
the movie. 50-something, 40-something.
Yeah.
I was doing the math today. I'm like,
so his story arc was this. He and Laura Dern are together in some capacity.
mhm.
She wants kids. He doesn't want kids. He ends up taking care of these kids, and by the end, the kids are sitting on his lap, and it's really sweet.
Right. Oh, right.
I just didn't give a shit about that plot line. Like, I don't care about his character growth, that now he's okay with kids.
Right.
And especially those ones. I feel like that should have, convinced both of them.
You didn't
not-
like Timmy?
Timmy!
I kind of like Timmy. It was her that annoyed me.
Timmy! I
But
don't
then
know.
he was annoying me when he wouldn't get off that stupid fence.
Oh, yeah.
And then he gets blown 30 yards away.
I have heard about people who touch high voltage, and I think both his arms would be completely blown off.
Oh, wow.
And there was somebody, I don't know what 10,000 volts is. It sounds like a lot. There's some guy who he does self-help stuff because he's dealing with some difficulties. When he was a teenager, he was messing around on subway trains, and he ended up touching the overhead electric things that those streetcars ride on, and then he woke up with no arms and no legs.
Yeah.
And it just blows. It goes through you and blows your limbs off.
Wow.
I just don't think Timmy would be knocked back and then just put a Band-Aid on his hands. He would be dead.
The bandage. And then that's why they had him with long hair. Now it makes sense. Because he had unusually long hair.
Yeah.
And it's for that scene. That's
so
what it
that
is.
his hair could shoot up.
I just ruined it.
Yeah, there you go.
Damn it. I always watch that. I'm like, that hair, nobody had that hair.
Timmy.
1993. Tim? So he's been in a bunch of stuff. And I don't have his name.
Huh.
He was in the series The Pacific on HBO. And I forget what else, but he's been in a bunch of stuff.
What about the idea that they can't see us if we don't move? Does that sound like a real dinosaur thing?
Yeah, because I saw this movie in 1993, and they told me. Why do you have to? You can't see us if we don't move. And he knew this based on being a paleontologist who would have no idea.
Who digs up bones.
Right. I mean, he's
And
never seen
the
one.
dinosaur's looking right at them. If you don't move, it can't see you. I'm like, do lizards hunt that way? Do they not have any hearing, sight? I don't know.
It
seemed like
doesn't
bullshit.
make sense. Thank you for.
By the way,
complaint from
I
me.
wrote down a note about the cars, the Jeeps. There was a scene where one of the Jeeps was pretty much stuck,
Yeah.
and you could see really clearly all-terrain tires.
Yeah.
And I was just thinking, maybe they should have just the kind of terrain it is tires,
Right.
which is
Thank you.
a very particular kind of terrain.
Yes.
Right.
Mud.
Dirt. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's like so. People ask. I run winter tires on all the cars we have, and the question is, oh, why? Just get it good all season. It's like, yeah, no seasons.
Right. Yeah, it's like a futon.
Right.
It's not comfortable to sit in. It's not comfortable to sleep in. But
That's
it does
true.
both.
But it does both.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, Anna's car would be fine. Mine would be. But I don't know. I'm also driving to Colorado in them. I can't fly. If I can't fly to Colorado, I can't buy a Land Cruiser. So that's where I'm making that stand. Okay.
I got you. I'm looking at my notes here. How about the dinosaur is starting to approach the car?
Yeah.
It's the first time the T-Rex has gotten out of its pen.
The goat leg.
The goat is gone. Yeah, the goat leg is there. And that
girl's
little
freaking
girl grabs the flashlight and
Yeah.
turns the fucking flashlight on when everybody's saying, if you don't move, it can't see you. And she's shining the flashlight on, and everybody's going, turn the light off.
Turn the light off.
And I was just like...
You're doing the same thing. Turn the light off.
I was, turn the light off, you fucking idiot.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, I mean,
Yeah.
really...
But they brought you. They drew you in to the film.
Yeah.
Okay. There's a scene at the beginning that is one of my least favorites, and it's when they're trying to give a little bit of cred to Dr. Grant, and he's talking to the kid who's like, "That doesn't look so scary. More like a 6-foot turkey."
Yeah.
I mean, even with that intonation too.
6-foot turkey would be pretty terrifying, I have to
It
say.
would, because they're mean.
Oh, they are.
But he's like the Pat kid, or she is. I don't know. I for the longest time we didn't know, and it was like, is that so? It's a Pat kid, curly hair, looks like Pat from Saturday Night
Oh,
Live.
I get you. That's what you mean by a
Yeah.
Pat kid.
And
Kind of, ambiguous
Right.
gender.
it was like the hat was ill-fitting, but it wasn't anything.
Yeah.
Again, it didn't fit for the time.
Yeah.
So it was kind of fun. And then
I did like that kid.
You did. You
Well,
would
no,
have.
I liked him being kind of shut down because he was, so annoying.
Well, so then my problem is with the reply.
Okay, let's hear it.
Because he's like, oh, maybe they
I
cut
know
you
you
from
did.
here.
I know
or
you
here.
did. But what did I know you are, but what am I?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then he goes, even the word raptor means bird of prey. Yes, because the dinosaur named itself and then became a bird. Like, come on.
That's dumb.
It was a dumb line.
And also, he was doing here or here, and one of them was like below the belt.
It
I'm
was.
Like, you're doing the below the belt
Yeah.
thing on some child?
That was a little creepy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Showing how much he really doesn't want kids.
This is what it'll do to you. It'll like,
yeah.
take
gonna
your little
rip you
wiener
apart.
right off.
Yeah.
And, well.
All right, so I'm still not at my highest level. Are we?
No,
We're
keep
good?
going. Yeah,
Okay,
we're at 50 minutes or
Yeah.
something. So
All right, we're approaching.
I am out of my beer though.
Oh, you got to hear this. So
Let's hear it.
okay, so it's the computer stuff. It's
Yeah.
really
pretty
bad.
bullshitty.
And
You turn it
her-
off and turn it on and all that kind of business.
Yeah, no.
Let's hear it.
Her saying when she goes, "This is Unix. I know this system." It is.
Yeah.
I go into meltdown mode. I'm like, "Oh, come on!" And I say it was close, but it probably wasn't.
Yeah.
And it's because everything else in the movie is probably that far off in whatever field that it's in, but it's a movie.
Yeah.
But then once they did that, I was like, "Oh, forget it."
But what about the graphics that she gets into, and it's just like this
Really
kind
slow,
of bad
horrible
graphic.
That's what
of
she's
the-
saying is Unix, and it's not.
Okay.
Yeah. Unix
Yeah.
would be more command. I mean, there's graphical user interfaces you can use, but it's mostly command line stuff. And her just knowing that you could just go to the visitor center locks, and that's where it would be.
That seemed sketchy to me too. That is how the system works.
Yeah.
Is it has a
slow
kind of
interface.
slow interface, but also a real basic like visitor center map of everything.
Of course.
And then just kind of like scrolling to the building is how you lock it in a way. Like that handles all the locks of all the doors. And
can we flag her down?
yeah, I think so. Maybe she'll notice us. She's got
I'll keep us entertained.
Yeah, do, and I'll just watch her like a hawk.
I should sing or something.
Please, I could do more Sammy Hair. I feel like we didn't hit the Fast Times at Ridgemont High song enough last time.
Oh God!
Just yesterday, my friend got busted.
You
remember that, right?
Yeah.
She came home smelling like smoke. It's such a shame when you're not trusted. She only had one little toke. Now, if you think about it.
She got busted for having one little toke.
One little toke.
Yeah.
And once you lose that trust, it's not just
never coming back.
It's not just about, now my parents are going to kind of check on me when I say I'm going out and I'm
Thanks.
Thank you. Yes. You did it. But you also just lose that trust, which is like eroding that familial bond, and it was just one little toke. And it's tragic, but it's also there's a lesson there.
Okay. Don't take one little toke.
Just smoke out, man.
Yeah.
If you're gonna do it, at least get.
I figured that's
Thank you.
Thanks. All right.
Well, here we go. That. So.
I'll do yours for you.
Yeah, there we go.
It's sort of like cemented on. It doesn't make the cool noise or anything.
So is there anything we missed? What about
Hammond? He won't stop saying, "Spared no expense."
Yeah.
Up until the end, and in my head as I was watching it this time, because
so he's the guy that did the flea circus. He's the guy that owned the whole thing.
In my head, as I'm watching it, I'm thinking, Dr. Daniels would say, "Well, that's the producers and Steven Spielberg on this movie, right? There's not that much story, but man, they spared no expense."
Yeah, that's right.
So I had you in the back of my head going, "Really? That's the producer."
Yeah.
I was like, "Okay, I'll go with that. Why not?"
Okay, good. I'm glad. I don't even have to think anymore.
You don't have to think for me
because you're or myself, because you're going to think for both.
You know what? That.
That guy. They were trying to play him for a sympathetic character, but I was like, I don't give a shit. Newman was worse than him for sure. And the scientists were good, I guess. We were happy they lived.
How about the Weasley guy Newman met with?
Yeah.
He was
in San
extra
Jose.
Weasley.
Yeah.
Where Newman puts the shaving cream down on the pie.
I don't even remember. What are those? What were they doing?
They were stealing the embryos.
They were, but
for another company.
Okay. He stole the embryos from his company so that a rival company could get it, and so the making sure that there's a sequel is that the embryos escaped into the rain. But how would they live? Aren't embryos kind of like delicate?
But then they got covered in mud. And so an embryo that is going to someplace that can, birth dinosaurs out of nothing.
How about
that's no problem.
How about the Triceratops that is sick and they're like all fawning over it and petting it, and it's like.
Then they go.
I thought that was a little much.
And then they go dig through the Triceratops crap because they're piling it up for some reason.
And this animal that is pretty big, but like rhinoceros big, not like. Somehow is pooping 15 feet tall. Like
I don't know how long that was.
The thing is 15 feet tall. Like that didn't make any sense. But also, like, you people are scientists. You're treating this thing like it's a Labrador Retriever who's sick. You know what I mean?
To them that's what it was.
It was that, but I just felt like that wasn't very sciencey. I like. I think that scientists are kind of interested in the data, man.
Yeah.
In the science.
And they were
not in like petting. They're not. You don't become.
Well, they have to split them up, right? They got to make it more exciting, so you got to split them up, and so you got to,
Yeah. She's so somebody's a plant scientist and somebody's a dinosaur bone scientist. You work together and you're digging stuff up, But they didn't get into that because they want to pet a triceratops someday.
I would.
Yeah,
I mean,
it did look pretty
Wait
fun.
a minute.
Only if it's
don't
sick.
take that off the
Only
table.
if it's sick.
Right.
Because otherwise it could gore you pretty quickly.
I like the kind eyes of the triceratops.
They're always kind.
They are.
Have you ever been in a field with cows? They're pretty big.
They're huge.
I feel like
they
they're
are. No,
fairly
and they're
intimidating.
scary.
Yeah, they're intimidating, and I feel like it could trample me pretty easily. And I'm like, nah.
I'm good. Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm not a horse guy.
Oh, neither am I.
I've ridden horses because people put me on them. Like, I will not walk behind a horse. Like,
It's like
I'll go 30 feet behind it because those things will kick you. Like,
it's like a big scary dog. I
Yeah.
don't like those either.
no,
Yep.
they're
Like anything crotch sniffing. That's like already too big.
animals
I'm
in
good.
general, children and animals.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
Get rid of those. We're good.
Do you want a cat?
No.
You sure?
Boy, we're bad, man. We don't like anything. We have nothing to.
I want out.
We nothing to recommend us as
No.
nice people.
No, I want out. I want out of. I mean, the cat's been great, but
Yeah.
that's it.
It won't
I'm
last
good.
forever.
Yeah, our
Are
last
you gonna
one.
are you gonna hasten it along a little? Just
She's really.
you shouldn't say it on this podcast if you're going to, because
becomes part of
stuff
the
is-
permanent public record.
it's searchable.
It
Put it
is.
that way.
No,
And also, I would probably name the episode
right.
"Steve admits to
It's
murdering-
Jurassic Park.
murdering
That's
his
obvious.
cat. Kill him all." What
I
did
murdered the last one.
Wait, what did the Australian guy say? Shoot them all, or
They should all be put down.
they should all be put to death. Yeah, that's cats and dogs, not kids. We need them.
Well,
We need them.
depends on the kid.
We need them to propagate the species. You're not
Are we
caring
worth?
about that.
Are we worth propagating? Probably not.
What is that? What does worth mean? I don't know. I do. I guess it's all fine.
That's the most authory
way.
question I think you've ever asked on this podcast.
The most what?
With the most authory question you've ever asked. Well, what's that mean? I love it.
Well, I mean, yeah. What is our purpose? I actually do believe we don't have one, and accepting that is very freeing. Like, hey, man, we're just here for a little while.
I can buy into that.
We're here for a good time, not a long time.
That is also true.
Yep.
Yeah.
And but insisting that we have some kind of meaning or creating some kind of meaning, some kind of purpose, it's going to come up short no matter what. So why not just admit that, we have this existence right now.
You're
That's
just
pretty
here.
cool.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is.
Here drinking beer. There's a
Beer
river.
is awesome.
Right. Look at the river. It looks
I
nice.
know,
It's a great
and
day.
it's green.
Yeah.
Illinois is starting to green up. I got that.
I thought you were saying the river was green. I'm like, wow, man. Maybe I have,
No.
no,
It's
color blindness. No, it's gray.
brownish gray.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I feel like we're kind of at the end.
So
aren't we?
I'm going to ask, how
please
many
do.
stars out of 4?
As a movie,
Yeah.
oh, what did I give the other ones? I feel like
I don't know. I don't know if we always do this.
I feel like I don't have a. So out of 4 stars, so my favorite movies in the world are 4 stars. The
Okay.
shittiest movies in the world are
No
1
star. I would
star.
say- I mean, you
no
can go
stars.
no star.
Okay, you can go no stars. And this is like, is 2.5 too mean?
I was going to go with 3.
Yeah, you like it a little more than me.
I mean, but
You also
that's like
watched it.
13-year-old me.
yeah.
Like, can
Is
you imagine?
Is tugging that
Yeah.
up a little bit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can't. As a literary thing,
By the
there's
way,
nothing here.
I said tug, and there's somebody at the bar there that. So we have this thing called Tug Fest,
Oh yeah,
and there's a tug of war across the Mississippi River
Right over
between
there.
the 2 towns here, and I just saw her shirt, and it said 2020 can just go tug itself, and I realized, oh, 2020's Tug Fest must have been canceled because of COVID,
right,
and so it could go tug itself.
right.
I thought that was a funny shirt.
Pretty funny.
Yeah.
Oh, good old Tug Fest.
Tug Fest.
I have never been here for that.
There's a bar across the way called Tuggers.
Yeah, the Illinois always wins.
I don't even want to get into it.
Wow, it's that big of a deal for you?
It's not a big deal to me, but it is blatantly unscientific, this particular tug thing.
Due to the way that the water runs.
The rope hangs in the water.
Yes.
It just is completely submerged in the water the whole time, and clearly you can watch where the channel is. And on one side, the water is not moving at all. It's just this like shallow kind of like, eddy.
Yep.
And the other side is where all the river is moving at like several miles per hour. And one side always wins by so much.
Yeah.
No matter what.
Yeah.
Year after year, decade after decade, that at some point, just statistically and just looking at the water, you're thinking, I think the fact that the rope is in the water the whole time,
Probably.
and people are tugging on it, really has everything to do with how this particular tug goes and not who is the stronger team.
I would agree.
That's how I see it.
Well, I would think that the side with with a bigger population would also do better.
Yeah, and this has more population in this town than the other. I feel like the only way you could
Iowa in
do
general,
it,
I would think. The Iowa side of the river here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's about 5,000 in this side and about half that on the other.
I'm thinking just like in the whole area because people come from elsewhere.
That's true.
Yeah.
Or just those working class people at Port Byron they're just a little tougher.
Fuck
and
them.
And these like suburbanites in Little Claire's side.
Totally.
Too many people who are like, working office jobs and
don't you have an office? Don't you live in LeClaire? Are you calling yourself a suburbanite?
Geez, I don't know what to call. I mean, I live where I live. I mean, that's
it's pretty great.
I'm like a small town guy.
Yeah, I could get that.
I don't think I am like temperamentally at all.
But it's nice to live in a small town.
Yeah, I live in a small town. Yeah.
I was born in a small town.
Where the little the next door, there's that next door social media thing, and everybody's like complaining, like, I saw some teenagers walking by my house the other day. Like, I didn't like the looks of them, and
they were hoodlums. Did they do anything? No,
they're always hoodlums.
Yeah, no, they didn't, but they looked like maybe they would. Oh yeah,
they're just these teenagers like who they'll do things and like wear like balaclavas and stuff though, because
Yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we're really drifting away from
Jurassic but that was
Park.
kind of the fun of just being able to talk about everything. I mean, everybody's.
Yeah, this is
Callie is actually the last person on Earth who needed to watch Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
So that's it. Everybody else has seen it now.
Yeah.
Including children who were just born like 2 days ago.
I am happy that I am now part of the human species
a
meaningful way.
You're back. It's been a while.
It has
they
been
gave you a 10-year grace.
94, so it's been a while.
I think 93.
So 93. Yeah, you're good, man.
So, I don't know. I'm kind of interested in. There's a new one coming out. I can't imagine we need another Jurassic Park. I think it's the 6th or 7th. But
hey, man,
Universal,
as long as it makes money.
Yeah, it will.
And we can go on the ride. No, I want the real Jurassic Park. I want the real Jurassic Park. I want to go. I want to see the woolly mammoths. I'm for it. I'm for the woolly mammoth. They seem like they're being very careful. There's a big difference between a T-Rex and a woolly mammoth. You got to admit that.
I don't know.
You don't admit it?
No, I will not admit it. I'm thinking those things are pointy and dangerous.
But they're just...
And they are bloodthirsty.
That's just hairy.
They don't know.
They're elephants with hair. They're hippie.
Bloodthirsty.
No, hippies.
No,
they're hippie.
They really are.
They're hippie elephants, and they're just like...
Are they about the same size as an Indian elephant?
I think so.
I saw exactly no elephants in India when I was there.
Man.
I know. I feel like I missed out.
Yeah.
Do you know how I can tell the difference between Indian elephant and African elephant? That's actually true.
What?
It's their ears.
Oh,
African elephant.
Thought you were going to say some.
No,
sport
the
esque
Indian
thing.
elephant has like the ears that look like the continent of India.
What?
Boom.
What?
Look it up.
What?
We can't look it up now, but we'll have to look it up when we're done.
So wait, the Indian elephant has their ears are shaped like India.
Yeah, if you look at it, you can tell. It's like, oh, that's an Indian elephant.
Is
'Cause
the
the
African
other ones are
element-
bigger, way bigger.
Look like the.
It does not.
I feel like my ears kind of look like the state of California, where I was born.
I wasn't going to tell you.
Yeah.
But I was kind of awkward. I was like, oh shit. I
They
never
look-
noticed.
They look a little
They
bit.
do.
Like.
They do.
Yeah.
Mine look like the state of New York.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's true. You can't see them under
Just
this.
square.
They are.
Yeah.
Yeah. And with that, I
Yeah.
think we can call it Jurassic Park.
Alright.
That was fun.
Did I turn this up? All right.
Uh-oh. Ah.
All right, everybody. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Great.
Click like and subscribe.
Like, subscribe, rate, and review. And if you don't want to do it for us, do it for Garza. She might get a job one day.
Do it for the kids.
Do it for the children.
That
Do it for the woolly mammoths.
right.
Do it for the cats.
Oh, thanks.
How about the dogs?
You want mine? You can have her.
Ooh. Cat for sale. See y'all.